Okay. So you all should be able to see. Sorry. Can you all see me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So on your GoToWebinar sort of control panel, you should see a little camera icon. That is the icon that you can use to turn on or turn off your webcam. Right above that camera icon is a microphone icon. So you can click that to mute and unmute yourself. Make sure that if you are not talking and there's some sort of background noise that you remember to mute yourself to sort of minimize some distractions. If not, I can mute folks as well. So I will be able to do that if needed. Okay. Victor, you should be able to see a show screen button on your control panel. Is that right?
I do not see that.
You do not see that. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to make. All right. When I'm done with this, I'm going to make you the presenter, and then you should be able to see that show screen button. Everyone else, there should be a chat function that you can see on your control panel as well. Feel free to drop comments, questions, etc. in there. I will try and monitor that chat and bring things up as necessary. If you have tech issues, feel free to drop them in there, and I can do my best to help you out. Anything else that we should go over, Victor?
No, I think that's good.
Wonderful. I will pass it over to you and let me know if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you should be the presenter now.
Okay. I'm not sure exactly what screen is showing right now.
I can see your presenter view. So if you go up to display settings, you should be able to sort of switch presenter and slideshow. There we go.
All right. Perfect. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Perfect. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on a virtual setting for our annual business meeting that otherwise would be having in Austin, but due to our current situation, we are doing it remotely. So we have a few things to cover today, and then please, as if we were in a live setting, pause me or pause any of our presenters. Maybe have any questions regarding any of the information that we're sharing with you all today. Just to kind of give you an overview of our time together, we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about our plan for the annual conference, which was our pre-conference, as well as some of our KC sponsored programs. We will kind of highlight some of our outgoing leadership, as well as our incoming leadership, and also take the time to recognize the hard work all of our colleagues across the country are doing with our 2 recipients for our KC awards this year. And then we'll provide some space for those of you who are in the call to announce any job vacancies that you may have at your respective institutions, as well as open up the floor for any open questions or forums that you may have today. So before I pass on the baton to my colleague John at Colorado State. I do want to say a huge thank you to John for spending the last year planning our conference, our KC conference components and what that conference would look like. So thank you so much to you and as well as to Colorado State, who was going to be one of our hosts for our opening networking event.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to John. John, are you able to unmute yourself?
All right, folks, there should be a microphone up in the upper left of your GoToWebinar control panel. If you click that, then you should be able to unmute yourself.
All right, can everybody hear me okay?
There we go. Yep,
Hopefully.
I can.
Okay. It wasn't letting me unmute myself, so I'm not sure if there's a setting where the administrator has to do it.
Gotcha. I will look into that. Thanks.
Either way, but anyway, just so we know. Perfect. So we wanted to devote a few slides to the different conference sessions that we had lined up, both the KC sponsored sessions and the pre-conference. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this is just because we know that people put in a lot of time and effort into planning these sessions. And so for what it's worth, we wanted to just provide some space here, to just give, a nod towards the work that folks were putting together. And then two, just to offer from the KC a sincere thanks for all the time and the effort. So this is an advertisement for our pre-conference session that was going to happen, which was at the intersection of social class and career development. It was a partnership between the student career development knowledge community and the social class issues in higher education knowledge community. And so special shout out and thanks to Carolyn, Jakira, Megan, Tiffany, and Jordan for that. We'll go forward another slide here. One of our sponsored sessions was Career Conversations in and outside the Career Center, Enhancing Campus Partnerships, which was going to be about, again, as you can read there, exciting conversations about how to infuse career development and everyday interactions with students in fun and unique ways. So again, special thanks to Marquise, Shakira, and Sarah. Next one, shout out and thanks to Kimberly at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, as well as Roshni, Michael, and Todd. And they were going to be offering a KC sponsored session examining social class and career capital in first generation undergraduate students. And I'll give a few seconds here so folks can read through the description to see what was being offered. All right, and we'll go forward one more. And the last of our sponsored session was It's How You Say It, Closing the Student Communication Gap Through a Career-Ready Campus Culture. And this was going to be done by Rob, Melissa, and Leslie, all from the University of Tennessee. So wanted to give a special thanks to them, and you can read the description here. While it was disappointing that we didn't get to see these sessions at the conference, one opportunity that's neat that it did bring up is we have content potentially available for webinars, which was a goal that we set for our knowledge community to do throughout the year, was to offer the chances to engage in virtual webinars. And so what we were hoping is that each of the leading presenters for each of the sessions we just referenced would touch base with your co-presenters and just decide if you'd like to continue on the path of planning the session, and if that's something you'd be willing to offer that we could get scheduled throughout the year. And so I'll circle back to each of the lead coordinators to see about your interest in offering this, and then we'll go ahead and get those scheduled and advertised for our knowledge community during the year. One update from the conference is which makes sense, is they've said that they're not automatically transferring accepted programs into the future years conference. And there's a few reasons for that, again, which I think make good sense. One is the conference theme next year has already been picked out, so they want to make sure they can narrow in on sessions that match the theme. And also, we don't know what's happening with presenters and whether people will be able to travel there next year like they could this year. But the message has also been, if it turns out that you're able to travel and the session we've put together matches the conference theme, they'd love to have those submissions. So again, just thank you to the presenters. We want to recognize the time that people put into planning the sessions, and hopefully we'll bringing those to you virtually here throughout the year. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you, John. And with that, we do like to take some time to acknowledge and thank those on the KC leadership team who have devoted the past 2 or plus years to the work of the KC. We'll start off with Joe over at Boston College. He served the past chair role in the past 2 years, and prior to that, he was the chair for 3 years. So he's been really involved with the KC in a leadership role over the past 5 years or so. We also want to thank Megan over at the University of Michigan, who has been serving as our inaugural communications chair. She kind of dealt all of our things, communication related to our membership. And with our regional reps, we have Julianne over at Boston College as well, who served over the past 2 years. Jen McDonald over at Region 4 West. She's been in the KC for, I want to say, 4 years or so in this role. So thank you so much to Jen. And then Amy over in Region 6 out in California, who has been working with us as well for the past year. So thank you so much to all 5 of you for the work you did within the KC as it was getting started. And we look forward to having your engagement and involvement in the near future to come. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Carolyn, who will introduce our incoming team for the 2020-2021 year.
Oh, hi everyone. Thank you so much for passing that on, Victor. So there you go. So as the incoming chair, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to do a quick shout out to Victor, who will now start serving as our past chair. And he will be a support to all of us moving on for the upcoming year. So we have John, as you've already heard from. We have also Jakira is going to be staying with us for the Region 2 rep. Ray Rogers is the new incoming Region 3 rep. Trisha Gott, we have for Region 4 West. Lori Brown, Region 4 East. Matt Wilson, Region 5. So one of the things we wanted to put a shout out for is for any of our colleagues in Region 1 and Region 6. If you are interested in being the KC rep for your regions, please let us know, and you can go to the NASPA engagement portal. We have the position descriptions there, but you can also email me if you have any questions you want to talk about that, what that looks like. Again, my name is Carolyn Meeker. My email is cmeeker@fiu.edu. So cmeeker@fiu.edu. We also have the National Communications Chair and National Awards Chair positions open. So before we move on to the next slide, just a shout out for all the work that all of us will be doing in the coming year. And we look forward to connecting with many of you through different, whether it's social distanced, virtual events, and perhaps at next year's conference. And with that, we will go back to Victor.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. So I did wanted to take the time to recognize both of our award recipients this year. Each year, our last year, our KC started our awards program with the first award being provided to the Student Career Development Champion person who in this role, this is someone really either entry level to mid-level managers who are really being that champion on their campus or within their community in supporting the development of their students and their community. Without the work of these folks in the front lines and really connecting with our students and building that community within our campuses, a lot of the work and a lot of the preparation that our students need to be career ready couldn't be possible. And the recipient of this year really has gone above and beyond, working with not only faculty and staff on their campus, but also with employers and students. So it's someone who clearly wears many hats on their campus, which I'm sure it's the case for many of us. But the recipient this year for our Student Career Development Champion Award is no other than Amanda Peters over at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. So congratulations, Amanda. And I'm sure there's a lot of virtual applauses going your way at the University of South Florida, St. Pete. And then the Outstanding AVP Senior Level Administrator Award really goes out to someone who is being that advocate for career development on our various campuses and kind of putting that as part of our the work that we do and the experience that students have on our campus and how they're getting ready for the next step and becoming an alumni of our respective institutions. The recipient for this year has someone who has changed the campus culture really in their campus by putting career development and really challenging and encouraging various departments and faculty across campus to think about how is each activity getting their students ready for the next step, whether it's within their major or within their career path or potential career path, and really thinking about the bigger picture of that student experience. So out of New York, we would like to congratulate Dr. Catherine Hutchinson over at St. John's University. So congratulations to our two award winners this year. And do know that there is a nice package heading your way from the KC once we are able to get those to you. So be on the lookout and we'll be sure to communicate that information with you all. And as in previous years, our award nomination will open up sometime in the summer for our 2021 recipients. So as you're thinking and you're working with your colleagues, definitely this is a great way for you to recognize those on your campus who are doing the work of developing our students to be career ready. So definitely be on the lookout for communication over the summer on how you can nominate a colleague either on your campus or at a different campus to be recognized for these honors. So with that, I'm gonna pass it on to our colleague who will talk about the next slide.
Hey, Victor, who are you passing off to just so I can make sure to unmute them?
Sorry, Shakira.
Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Shakira. So the student career development knowledge community, we always encourage any type of job vacancy or opportunity at your respective institution. So of course, with these unprecedented times, I did want to make note that some of us may be in limbo. I know personally, our university is on a hiring freeze, but we're still posting positions to be interviewed for at a future date. So what we do is encourage, and correct me if I'm wrong, Caroline or Victor, we do have a share drive, and we can send out this link to all attendees, the Google Share Drive link. So please provide your organization, what department, and what position that you are seeking to hire for as well. I'll pass it along to you, Victor.
Thank you. So I do want to provide a space if anyone does have any urgent positions that they do want to highlight today. please feel free to put it on the chat box so we can provide that space for folks that are on the call. And with that, I'm gonna pass it on to Carolyn, who would kind of walk us through more of an open forum, open discussion to kind of discuss anything that those of you who are in attendance today would like to discuss in regards to what's happening on your campuses or current trends in the field as it relates to career development and our students on our various campuses.
Great, thank you both. So I do want to point out, as Jakira mentioned, we have a shared Google Drive, and so the meeting organizer put that in the chat. So hopefully everyone, you can see the chat, you can see this link. So it should be a shared Google Drive folder that you can edit. Just click on the link. And so what we're asking is, going back to the previous slide, if you have any open positions, please feel free to go into this folder. You can post the job announcements there. There's also a Google Sheet within that folder that ideally we could use, and it just has a couple of columns. What organization is it? What's the job title? If the link to your HR or to the job posting or wherever they can apply for the position. If you want to list your name as a contact, if anyone's interested in that position and you want to ask about it, you could put that information there. So hopefully y'all have access to that. And if you have anything to post, do so. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're not able to access the link. Again, my name is Carolyn Meeker, and I'm at cmeeker@fiu.edu. So with that in mind, we are towards the end of our session. We have the open forum. There are some things we decided to intentionally not put anything about the current COVID-19 on here because we don't know the load that everyone's carrying right now. So we don't want to make people, share stories if you don't want to. That being the case, we would love to know what hot topics is everyone working on, looking at. What are there topics that you want to discuss right now? Or are there topics that you would like our KC to focus on moving forward?
Okay, I'm starting to see some ideas coming into the questions tab, which is great. I will go ahead and unmute everyone. If you're not having anything to offer right now, go ahead and mute yourself. And once you mute yourself, you should be able to unmute yourself in the future. So
you are my hero right now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Can folks unmute themselves? Great.
Hi, this is Megan Downey from the University of Michigan. I'd love to hear what other campuses are doing as it relates to supporting employers and students around internships for this summer.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're loud and clear.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Greg Shirley. I'm the Associate Director for Employer Relations, Technology, and Operations at Texas Women's University in Denton, Texas. So boldly go. We have actually received a grant from our Student Life Office to provide 25 $1,000 scholarships to our students who are pursuing unpaid internships. And so what we're doing is we are developing a web page or a community page on our UConnect website, if anybody's familiar with UConnect, to provide those applications. We have a scholarship committee. And so we are going to ask students to identify either sites they're already conducting an unpaid internship at, because it has to be unpaid since we're going to pay them. And we're also utilizing our inaugural graduate assistant for employee relations to find nonprofit, educational, or governmental agencies that traditionally offer unpaid internships to partner with our office in order to place those students. Right now, we're trying to determine whether we are going to go with the original 12-week model, or if we're going to make it a micro internship and make it about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's something that we're working with on our end.
Hi, this is Lynn from the University of Pittsburgh. I'm actually working with the graduate business population, and on our team call today, we actually talked about this topic. Now, I know coming from grad business, this might be a little different than those of you that might be serving undergraduate populations. But one of the things we had talked about is really trying to capitalize on our rich experiential-based learning classes that we already have, where students are already engaging with employer clients for the semester on a project, and seeing if they would be open to having maybe one or two of the top performing students continuing working on that project. Maybe it's for 8 weeks, maybe not a full 10 or 12-week internship. So that was one thing we talked about. Also trying to engage some of our nonprofit and community organizations to see if they might have any projects that they would need graduate business students for.
That's really great. I would say, so this is Carolyn from FIU. One of the things that we're doing is we have Parker Dewey micro internships. And so we're rolling out that a little bit more, making sure that students are more aware of it and using it. This is not about specific employers, but I teach 2 graduate internship programs, one in hospitality tourism management, one in adult ed human resource development. One of the things that our office is starting to do right now is taking some career coaching, career development activities and finding a way for students who have employers who can maybe tailor, instead of doing like an internship project, maybe they can do some, LinkedIn learning courses. So maybe taking some of the employment related stuff, making it more career coaching. Not that, we don't know how much employers are going to want to value that and pay for it, but instead of just canceling an internship, is there something else that you can do instead, particularly for short term, and then reassess later on?
Hi, this is Terry Fout. I'm with the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis, and I just wanted to give a little shout out for one of our programs. Is you guys have students that might be in a medical or in a biology, chemistry type degree program, and they are looking for, maybe I'm not going to get into medical school or dental school, that type of thing. There's a world of opportunities for these students. We have programs called medical laboratory sciences, and these are the people that are actually running the COVID tests right now. They're the ones that are running the flu test, the COVID test, strep tests, all that kind of thing. So this is a very, very high demand career field. And if you guys would like more information on it, my email address is T as in Tom, F as in Frank, OUGHT @uthsc.edu. And we're having an online open house coming up in the near future, and I can send you information on that. But this is just a great career field that we're trying to get more information out to students that might not necessarily know about it.
That's great. Can I check, Terry? So it's tfaught@uthsc.edu?
It's T as in Tom, F as in Frank, OUGHT @uthsc.edu. I'll type it into the chat feature for everybody.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything regarding Megan's question about what we're doing for employers?
Hello, can you folks hear me? This is JL Wyatt here.
Yep, I think we can hear you.
Yes, Dr.
Oh, okay,
White.
great. Yeah, hey, Carolyn, how are you? I just wanted to share that one of the things that we did recently was just simply host a webinar. We hosted a WebEx session for our current mentees, mentors, and then also a separate one for internships, coordinators, and sites, just as a Q&A, right? So as this thing began to unfold and we moved to completely remote courses, we just did kind of a question and answer session. Let's all meet virtually, kind of like we're doing here. And that got a lot of the questions from employers about how they could sustain existing not only internships, but students who are working off campus through federal grants with our institution. And for those who were willing and able and had the resources, we were able to help them to kind of adapt and mold some of those in-person assistantships in this case to kind of virtual and remote duties that students could do from home. And we provided a few resources on how they could assess them and check in and those sort of things. And so I don't know what the conversion rate is or what the turnover rate is, but it was just a way to say, hey, if you're interested in try to kind of migrate some of the things that you're doing in person into a remote or virtual format, let us help you to do that so that we can keep the students employed during this time if possible. And so that might be something that could be done as well for internship sites, because maybe they have the capacity, but they're just not sure how they can navigate it.
Dr. Wyatt, I have a question. First, that's great. Do you see your office doing something similar with faculty who oversee whether capstone or internship courses? Would you have a Q&A for them maybe?
Absolutely. And so I work with two different institutions. I'm faculty with Southern New Hampshire, and I recently got a new role at Atlanta Metropolitan State College, but previously served as the Director of Career Services for the University of West Georgia. And West Georgia's model does have each college, there's 7 colleges, they all have internship coordinators. And so one of the virtual webinars that, I apologize, I have a 2-year-old who's in this chat with me. Will you take her? Take her outside. I so apologize. And so one of the things that we did was that we hosted a virtual WebEx session for all of the internship coordinators to kind of put our heads together first to talk about how we can navigate remote internships and just to see if they had any questions. They have really good relationships with their internship site hosts, but we did do that. And then we did another one with faculty, we did one with students, and then we welcomed employers and internship sites kind of into another open forum type of WebEx. I don't know if, does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything regarding working with employers, or does anyone have another question, hot topic you want to chat about? I would say that one of the things that I think is really cool, this is Carolyn again, about FIU. So we have a really strong hospitality tourism management program, but they recently created it's a campaign through the South Beach Wine and Food Festival and our program, where it's a donation, it's a relief fund for people in the hospitality industry. So I'm not sure what we're at right now, and I'm not sure exactly how the funds will be allocated, but it's meant for some of the employees and the businesses that are going to be struggling right now and in the future.
This is JL again. I will just share one of the, not the good things, but kind of a silver lining or an opportunity that's come out of remote transitioning to remote learning for our department is that we have begun to have conversations with all of our colleges about having an online career readiness toolkit embedded into all of the course then sections that they're offering for all of the online courses. So it's just a folder that would be there. It would live in all of the online classes, and students could access resume examples, essentially what we have as a career navigator in our department. They would be able to access that, you know, if as they're in those courses. So that's kind of an opportunity that has kind of come out of this in a discussion that we've been waiting to have with several of our colleges. And we had the College of Nursing on board prior to, but now a lot of other colleges are interested in how can they get career services information into the classroom in a space they know students are going to frequent during this time.
I love that so much. That's great. So I think with that in mind, not that you can necessarily share all the resources and you might still be developing some things, but if anyone does have any things that you can share with the group, in that shared Google Drive folder, we also have a subfolder that's for resource sharing. So if anyone does have any ideas, for example, I didn't think about it, but there's some different activities that I use for some of my internship classes, and I can put that in the folder. Does anyone else have anything that you want to chat about in terms of, you know, kind of like the crisis as an opportunity, that you're really kind of excited about learning? For example, like the Zoom for Education, some of those trainings have been great. I know LinkedIn just rolled out. I saw an email with they curated a 13 LinkedIn learning tutorial that you can complete about the job search. And then if you complete it, you can get a badge. It's like, I think 11 hours, and it talks about different, you know, topics such as virtual job search, how to maintain your motivation. Does anyone else have anything you'd like to share here that could be helpful for the group?
This is Terry Fout again. I uploaded the flyer for our open house to the Google Drive. So if anyone would like to have that, you're more than welcome to. Also, feel free to send that out to any students that you think that might be an appropriate fit for or might be interested in just learning about the profession in general.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Well, folks, if we do want to be respectful of everyone's time, I know we're kind of getting towards the last few minutes of our time together. So before we kind of close up, I do want to open up, you know, the floor for anyone who maybe had some last minute things to share with the group. I also wanted to take the time to encourage everyone to continue the conversation and sharing resources and ideas as your departments potentially create new programs or have questions about such as the one that Megan brought up through the Facebook group. That group is open and available for you all to kind of continue these type of conversations, especially in times where you may not have the time to create new resources, but maybe folks at other campuses have already created those resources or those first steps into getting something kick-started at your campus. All right. Well, I do want to take the time to thank everyone for attending today's call. Also, this is our official baton exchange from myself as the chair of the KC into Carolyn's role, who will step into the KC chair for the next 2 years. So please feel free to reach out to Carolyn or myself if you're interested in one of those vacancies that we have. We're happy to address any of your questions or concerns in regards to time commitment and what does that look like for you and your role, or what does that position entail into further detail. We're happy to answer any of those questions for you. I will be around for the next 2 years as well, so I'm not going too far, as I will continue to be a resource for the KC as Carolyn transitions into her chair role.
Great. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for attending, and enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.
Same to you.
Thanks, everyone.